Welcome to the Franchising 360 show. This is a show where we are going to take a 360-degree view of all things about the franchise industry. I'm Tim Parmeter. This is our co-host, Danielle Wright. Danielle, how are we doing today?
We're doing great.
You know what we should talk about today?
No, I don't. What should we?
Franchising.
Why?
That's what we're going to talk about is why. This is not an Abbott and Costello thing. Google that if you don't know what that is.
We kind of need to Google that myself, but okay.
So we want to talk about really three things today because we're not smart enough to go more than three things.
Yeah, number
one, why would somebody become a franchise owner?
Not sure.
We're going to cover that, so you'll know at the end of the show. Number two, why would somebody want their business to become a franchisor?
Lots of reasons.
Okay. And number three, why would we choose to become a franchise owner versus just starting something from scratch?
That's a tough one.
You know what? Let's start with the tough one.
Okay.
So,
why
should we become a franchise owner versus
doing
starting
it on
from
our own?
scratch? You've been in the franchise world for 15 years. You've been on the franchisor side. You've seen all the behind the scenes things. It usually tends to be overwhelming how many things there are to actually help somebody. But what's the main reason we're looking at a franchise?
Main reason why you would want to start a franchise versus starting a business from scratch is it really is a business in a box. You get the box, you open it up, you deploy it, and yay, now you're a business owner.
So like happy birthday, you get to open up your present and it's a franchise.
Yes.
Okay. So in that box is like it's like it's Legos, right? There's instructions for how to do what?
You would go to Legos. I'm going to go. Can I tell a story?
I don't know. Can you?
I think I can.
Let's try.
So here, my stepdad owns a plumbing business, started it from scratch, had to get his license, had to get a truck, had to do marketing, which he does not do marketing. He had to figure out the operations, then hiring people.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Still no hiring, only the guy. There's that, what did we call it? Work-life, life-work balance. He doesn't have that. So if he had gone down the franchise route, they would have helped him find the staff, help him figure out how to recruit, how to really market, not just do a white van with a logo on the side of it of a stick figure. Yes, that's exactly what he had.
Oh, goodness.
Yes.
But fortunately, he's a good plumber, so he's getting business and getting repeat business from that.
Yes.
But really limits the ability to grow.
Well, that in the future, right? We always say start with the end in mind. Someone somewhere smart wrote that in a book, and we quote it a lot in franchising. But where does he go when he doesn't want to do it anymore?
Right.
Do they shut it down? Do you sell it? Lots of things that we can discuss here on the Franchising 360 show.
Well, and it also limits what your business is if you're going to do a startup, right?
Yes.
So for your stepfather, he was a plumber, so therefore he started a plumbing business. But in franchising, most of the time it's the complete opposite, right?
Yes.
And so you talk about from a marketing perspective, most people don't know what SEO is or how it works, or
what are those letters?
Don't even know how to spell it. So SEO. But things like that the franchise is helping to drive traffic to the business. Even like the truck, right? Like you got to go find the truck and figure out how to get the good deal on it versus things where like, how's the franchise going to help you with things like that?
So when you, switching gears a little bit, when you're talking to people about looking at a franchise business, how often are you showing them something that they already have experience in?
Maybe show them that because we'll usually pick 3 or 4 that we think are the best fit, but it's rarely that. When almost everybody starts a franchise in an industry that they have little to no experience in because the franchises don't want them to be, in that case, they don't want them to be the plumber. They want them to run the business.
Okay. So how often do you get plumbers looking at changing their business? Can they take their existing plumbing business and turn it into a franchise?
Great question. They can, right? And again, does it happen often? No, it does not, but it can, right? So you can kind of convert that into a franchise model to where now you get yourself off the truck of being the doer, because most people that own a business, again, they started it because that's what they had the experience in and the skill in, and they are actually in the weeds doing all the time rather than actually running the business.
So if we go back to the original conversation here, like, should you do it by yourself or start a franchise? Isn't there a slogan that we say in franchising about that?
Ooh, wait, I know.
What is it?
You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself.
Not by yourself. What does that mean?
Well, you have an entire franchise system to train you from the very beginning, support you. Like, it's laying out everything. You talk about hiring. If you're like, well, I want to own a plumbing business because I see the need.
Yeah.
It's never going away, right?
Backed up pipes all the time.
Exactly. Right. But we have to figure out how to hire plumbers. Right. And so one of the things there, and we're going to come back right after this break and talk about a little bit more of what are some of the things the franchise can do to help you every step of the way with this to be successful. We'll get back to that and a lot more here on the Franchising 360 show. All right, we are back here on the Franchising 360 show. That's Danielle Wright. I'm Tim Parmeter. We are talking about today one of the kind of why we want to become a franchise owner versus starting from scratch. We're using our plumbing business, Apopka Plumbing, shout out in Orlando. So get some bonus points there with Danielle's family. Again, we're also married if you missed the first episode. So we got to kiss up where we can. Becoming a franchise owner versus the startup and some of the things. If we're looking at maybe becoming a plumbing owner, I don't know anything about plumbing, but I see the huge need in that business. But how in the heck am I going to hire a plumber? Talk about how a franchise can help with that.
So franchises are never going to hire people for you. Like, let's get that out here. Like, it's not.
They're not just going to do everything for me.
They're not
going to
do.
Take my feet up, make the millions.
Nope. They're going to have businesses in a box, right? Like,
Okay.
So you're going to open up this box, and here we're going to deploy.
So we actually have to work.
You actually have to do something.
Okay.
I know it's tough.
But you're going to help me do it.
But we're supposed to help you do it,
Okay.
right? So if in the instance we're using this plumbing analogy, right? I'm not going to hire the plumbers for you, but we can give you, from the franchisor perspective, job descriptions, interview questions. Where do I find these people? More importantly, you don't do anything for free, right?
Not usually.
I don't do anything for free, right?
No.
Exactly. So it's more important to tell you what you need to do to obtain that talent and keep that talent working for you and with you. Again, if we go back to the last episode, if anybody watched, yay, congratulations, you showed up for number 2. It's working in business for yourself, but not by yourself. It is a franchise partnership. So anyone that's going to work with you should be considered a partner. You don't have to give them equity in your business. We'll talk about that in another episode, I'm sure. But you got to make them feel like they're part of your family and part of growing your business. So the franchise is going to educate you to how to find that person, how to recruit them, how to keep them. Like, none of us really actually work for the company we work for, right? We work for the people that we work for. That's why we wake up every day. And so the franchise does that with you as the franchise owner for success to help you really get that business off the ground.
There are times for us at FranCoach, our clients will ask, hey, will a franchise help me with blank? And I always tell them, I don't care what they say after, will that franchise help me with? The answer is yes. And when you talk to franchisors, it's yes, and it's usually a long answer because they're going to help you with this, and this.
Yes.
You've thought of the first way, but you didn't even know the next 5 things they say are going to help.
You don't know the details, and we all want to think that, hey, I can go and open the next McDonald's, right? Or that I can open the next Starbucks. Woo, fun word. But there's a lot to the back end of that you don't even, like, do you know what a CRM is? We're going to use a lot of acronyms on this show. So a CRM, right? Like, what do I do with that? How do I find that? You're also going to find that you're getting pitched a lot for all these different systems that you may or may not need. So the franchise has already done that for you. Right. So there are a lot of reasons why you should consider a franchise business versus doing it on your own. Because again, you don't want to do it on your own.
Right. It's like you're in the sandwich shop and you got to come up with napkins. Like, oh, where do I get the napkins from?
You just run to Walmart, right?
Like I think that's the right thing. Well, versus the franchise where they have the buying power. Not only do you get them, but you get them at usually
discount.
A huge discount. So a little bit of a piece of kind of why we do that. So why would somebody take? If we use your stepfather again, right?
So gonna love his time here.
I know.
Yes,
so
one day we'll bring him on.
Why would you, whether it's that or plumbing business or whatever, why might somebody turn their business into a franchise? Because every franchise started out, right? McDonald's was just
two guys,
2 dudes and a burger.
Yeah, two dudes and a burger.
Why would we do that?
Lots of reasons, right? Every answer I'm going to give you is going to have a lot of reasons. But I think the main one for independent business owners that are looking to say, how can I scale? How can I grow? I don't want to just do this again on my own. What are the keywords we're using here? It helps you to get your brand, your image as a brand, as in McDonald's, out to the masses. How many of us at this table have had McDonald's? How many of us at this table still eat McDonald's? How many of us raise children eating McDonald's? Yes. But we wouldn't know McDonald's if it didn't expand and grow through the franchise system. It's hard for an independent business owner to raise the dollars or capital, as we like to say, to continue to expand and give themselves that nationwide footprint. Right. So you can do that through the franchise system. Now, I will caution anyone watching this show right now that says, hey, how do I turn my business into a franchise? I wish it was that easy, just to literally throw money at it and make it happen. There are a lot of things that go into building your system to be replicated. Again, business in a box. If I can't open it and I can't deploy it, then that's not something that I can replicate and be successful
Because we could always open multiple locations of our business.
On our own,
right?
Yeah.
We could do that, but to get to a certain point of real scale, maybe I'll hire some managers, okay, but there's a lot more things that can go wrong with that versus somebody who owns it and actually has the skin in the game, right?
And franchisees can scale that way as well. Franchisees in the world today have sometimes larger locations, more locations than the franchisor does.
Yes. And why somebody would become a franchise owner, we're going to talk about that next on the Franchising 360 show. Welcome back to the Franchising 360 show. Again, the Franchising 360 show, where we are taking a 360-degree view at all things franchising. Today, we had 3 real topics that we are talking about. We were going to talk about why. Number one, why would somebody want to be a franchise owner versus starting from scratch? Also, why would somebody want to take their business and turn it into a franchise? But we also want to talk about all the reasons why somebody would want to become a franchise owner in general.
Is that number 3?
1, 2, 3. 3.
There we go.
That is number 3. Before we get to number 3, though, if somebody wants us to answer any questions, our website is thefranchising360show.com. What was that again?
Thefranchising360show.com.
Don't make me spell franchising. The amount of times I've spelled that over the last 10 years, I think I get it wrong every single time.
What about entrepreneur? That one's one that,
every single time.
So if you want to submit the correct way to spell entrepreneur, we'll send you a muck.
The franchising360show.com. Send us a message. What questions to ask? We're happy to help with that. But let's talk a little bit about why would you want to become a franchise owner?
I don't know. Why would you want to become a franchise owner, Tim?
I don't know that I do.
Did you become a franchise owner, Tim?
I did.
I did too.
A couple of times over.
Same here.
Yes.
Not the same ones, though.
Well, kind of the same ones.
Well, we own some together.
We did a couple together. But really, I think the same thing for everybody is control, right? Is control over time, freedom, flexibility, just their life. And our team at FranCoach, we talk to the people that are looking to become franchise owners, and they all say the same thing, right? Like, you've been working for somebody else. You're trying to, like, oh my God, like, I'm stuck in traffic again. I got a bad job.
Bad job-a-loma. So they want more control over their life with this, and really kind of figure out how to do that. So what are some of the things that you've seen from a franchise perspective that those reasons then translate into the franchise system that they're going into? Well, you had mentioned it, right? So we call it generally the 3 Fs: family, finance, fun. So you want to have something fun in your life. You want to make sure you can cover your finances, and you want something that supports your family. So when we're talking to people from the franchisor perspective, we're looking to make sure that those businesses match for them. You may find that fun is described differently for you than for me. A fun, let's go on a whitewater rafting trip. It's, hang out by the pool and drink Mai Tais maybe, right? So you want to be able to have that flexibility is tied into the fun aspect of owning a business.
And it's really a chance to kind of, and it's kind of cheesy, but you get to create your dream scenario with this. What you think is fun versus me versus somebody else. And same thing with that role as an owner. You get to really create whatever you want it to be, which is daunting, right? Because we're so used to the corporate world. Well, my
Yes.
title is this, my
Yes.
job is that.
Yes.
Therefore, the next thing, it's boring and mundane and
there's
awful.
fear behind it. We're gonna talk about that a lot too, right? Like fear. I want to work for myself. A lot of times I've heard people like, I've always thought about being an entrepreneur. I've always thought about owning my own business, and the thoughts go as soon as like, oh, I have to actually do it. So again, back to number 2 and number 1, like why would we want to? Right. Well, because it's just like kind of having a job, but you're doing that for yourself. And how often are you more likely to work harder for yourself than you are from someone else? Right. Like we talked, I take an hour for lunch because I want to, or I go and take 2 hours for lunch if I want to. It gives you that piece of, okay, this is what working for me looks like. Saturdays, you're going to work on a Saturday. Right. Where you may not necessarily do that for your boss.
But you're going to do it because you want to.
Because you want to.
Or if you're going to pick up, school line, we talked about how fun that car drop-off line, but being able to cut out at 2:00
yes.
to go pick up the kiddo, come back, but then still be able to do some work. Or again, but I'm doing it for myself. So the harder I work, the better I do, the more that comes back to me versus back
to the Apopka Plumbing. They just got caught in a storm on vacation, and they're stuck an extra 5 days in a tropical environment. It's so tough for them, right?
She's stuck at a tropical resort.
Our shoulders just went really down because of that. But if they didn't own their own business, that would be detrimental. They'd be fired. They'd be fired. Right? We'd be freaking out. Like, who's going to take care of the dog?
Sure,
who's
going to stuck in Antigua, right? So no, absolutely. Talk a little bit about then some of the things really kind of ties together. The fear element that comes in when people start to look at this, right? We know why, but then that also rolls into the franchise and all of the support. Oh my gosh, Danielle, as a franchise owner, what if I fail? What if I'm struggling? These are some things that we need to kind of talk about also as we come back in this last segment on the Franchising 360 show. What if I fail, people? And how's the franchise going to help me? Again, on the Franchising 360 show when we return. Welcome back to the Franchising 360 show. Danielle Wright, Tim Parmeter, talking about all things franchising. Fear. This is scary. Oh my gosh, I'm going to invest my money to own a franchise.
Not my money. Your money.
It's my money. Let's be clear. It's my money.
Yes, it is.
That we're investing in the franchise. But it can be scary, right? And so this kind of goes back to why a franchise versus the startup.
Yes.
Because it's like what we're talking about. It's hard work, right? Like you have to put forth the effort to do this. But when there are some things that are scary or we're unsure of, then the franchisor can come in a lot of different ways. Talk about kind of maybe 1 or 2 ways the franchise can kind of help with that.
Help with fear? Oh, yes. We're going to lean into that fear. Fear's good, right? Like fear's what pushes us.
It's a great emotion.
Yeah, it pushes us if anybody.
To do this show.
Yeah. Yeah, there is a lot of fear sitting at this table right now. Like I feel like the emotion movie, like they're up in my head running around going crazy, lighting things on fire. But franchisors kind of help you with the fear of more of the execution, right? We can't get you out of the hey, I no longer have a paycheck. I can't get you out of that fear. Right. I can't get you out of the fear that I'm going to invest my money and may lose my money. Well, if you put the money in the stock market, you may lose it there too. Like you've worked for it, you should deploy it. And so the franchisors really kind of help you understand where your strengths are and work those into your system. So if you know that you're pretty confident about, hey, I can go out and talk to anybody, great. I'm going to give you all the tools necessary to go out there and give the right story and help grow your business so that parts of those fear pieces go away and then they aren't there anymore.
When if I have say I have Tim's Sandwich Shop and I get to a point
which are very good sandwiches, by the way.
I make an amazing peanut butter and jelly.
You do.
They're really good. But if I get stuck at some point, I'm like, oh crap, I got to figure this all out myself. If I am now a franchise owner, I'm going to have a team of people
phone a friend.
That are going to be there within the franchise system or even other franchise owners that can kind of talk me off the ledge.
Well, and we also try to tell you that you don't wait for us to call you, right? There is support and there will be support in a strong franchise system. That's really what you go into a franchise system for. Right. But we're not going to be, hey, Tim, did you do this? Hey, Tim, did you do this? Hey, Tim. So
light on the micromanagement.
Right.
Right. Because everybody loves that.
Yes.
Right. So, but again, back to, you got to put forth two things with
The whys.
franchising.
Yep.
Put forth the effort
Yep.
and follow the dang plan. It's like, it's hard work, but it is really that easy to be successful when you can find the right franchise.
And that goes back to the why. Why would someone want to do a franchise? Is because of all of these pieces.
Yeah.
Is that I'm not going to eliminate any of your fears. I'm going to listen to your fears. And what you do, right, on the consultant side,
Right.
is you're trying to figure out what those fears are on the front so that you know the right place to introduce them to a franchise that may help them through that fear.
Right. And when you're able to find what you're actually good at, what you enjoy doing, feels a little less fearful, right? If you're like, well, how can you be scared when you said the three things you are best at and enjoy are these three things, and this is what you're going to get up and go do every day? And oh, by the way, over here is this whole group of people
Right.
to support you. Are we really that scared we're going to fail? Are you going to be lazy or not?
But
right?
don't you say, like, people are entitled to their failures?
You can, right? It's like my thing is like, you pay tuition to go to college. You have the right to fail.
Yes.
I can show you my undergrad transcripts. There were a couple semesters that are a little wonky.
Oh,
right?
you failed? I'm so sorry. But you're so pretty.
I know, and that's my hair, right? That's kind of how I got through. But it was, you have the right to do that. But in the same thing as a franchise owner, but do we really want to spend our money to fail? Like, that's what you do when you're 19, not when we're grown adults with this. But then I think it kind of leads us to, these are all the whys. Why we would, again, start up versus a franchise.
Right. Start something for ourselves.
Right. Taking our business and turning it into a franchise.
Why do I want to scale?
Right. Again, kind of that bigger picture, national exposure. And then why just in general being a franchise, and really kind of on that control aspect of things.
Opens up your dreams and your realities.
It is, we kind of, I know you and I are kind of cringe when people say it's like, it's business ownership. It's the dream, but it's not the business. It's business is the vehicle to get to all
your
of those
dream.
things.
Thank
right?
you for saying that. That is my big soapbox moment.
After 6 years of being together, there are a couple things I've listened to that you've said.
Oh, I'm so happy. Yay.
I don't know what the other ones are, but there was that one.
We'll work on those on the show.
What's for dinner later?
Food.
Awesome. Great. Maybe we'll go to a franchise.
Probably so. Because there's like 4,000 of them out there.
4,000 of them. Oh, fun little fact for the day.
Fun facts. We love fun facts.
Fun facts. How much revenue do all the franchises in the United States produce?
I don't know. Like franchisees and franchisors?
All franchisees, all owners.
I don't know.
Almost $900 billion. Billion with a B. 900 billion. That's how massive this
How many
industry
zeros is that?
I don't know.
I'm not the math person.
8.
I'm here for.
I said that confidently.
Yeah, you did.
But
so proud.
We'll go into that more on our next episode. But really, we want to talk about how somebody could. Now you're like, oh, okay, I'm starting to get this a little bit. How would one go about finding the best franchise? We're going to talk about that. I know, crazy, right? We're going to talk about that. Again, submit a question to us, thefranchising360show.com. If we use your question on the air, we're going to give you a shout out, and we're going to send you the super cool Franchising 360 coffee mug that'll look kind of like this, except with a logo. We just don't have that yet, but she's going to do it.
I'm working on it.
But until then,
that's my answer for everything. I'm working on it.
Until then, that is Danielle, and
I'm Danielle.
I am Tim.
That's
this
Tim.
is the Franchising 360 Show. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk with you next Friday.